Hello students, I'd like to welcome you to the Comps Review. This is going to be probably 2 hours or so of video that you can watch at your leisure. And my job is to try to summarize and spoon feed to you the basic concepts that are covered on the comp exam, particularly when it comes to statistics. Now, I know that if you're watching this video, you're probably not in love with statistics. That's probably not your favorite topic. And I view it as my job to entertain and delight you while talking about statistics, and I know that's a tall order. And if I can't delight you, then I'll settle for entertain. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm the executive director of the Sex, Crimes, and Paraphilias Institute, I'm going to try to talk about statistics as much as possible in terms that bring sexual deviancy into the forefront, because I think that gets people's attention. It's, let's face it, it's just a little bit more interesting than the more kind of dry way that we tend to look at statistics. So I thought I would begin then with a simple point that's at the heart of all of statistical analysis, which is variance. And how can I put this? When we're doing an experiment, what we're looking for is variance and understanding the underlying basis for that variance that we see. Now, to get right to the sex offenders, let's say that we hook somebody's penis up to a band that measures how erect they're becoming. That's called a penile plethysmograph. And a common way to evaluate someone to see if they have deviant sexual interests is to hook their penis up to one of these bands and then to show them pictures and see whether or not they become aroused when looking at these pictures. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, there are lots of people who, if they were to view, say, the underwear advertisements for boys' underwear in the Sears catalog, would not find that stimulating. However, I'm sure you also recognize there is a group of people out there who do become aroused by that kind of material. So the question that we're asking ourselves in statistics is, and let me just draw a picture of this, and I'm going to get more into this later, but this is just sort of an overview to sort of get you thinking about statistics in a way that interests you. Let's just say that we have a scale here of penile tumescence, okay? And the stimulus would be, in this example, pictures of young boys in their underwear. Now, just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to say that penile tumescence of 0 would mean that the person is not at all aroused by that, and penile tumescence of 1 would mean that the person is fully erect when presented with the stimuli of a picture of a boy in his underwear. Now, let's say that you've got a subject and you're conducting the penile plethysmograph on him and you get this number, 0.2, okay? And you're going to have to ask yourself, what does that mean? Because ostensibly there are two groups of people out there, okay? There's one group who could be described by this curve. We'll call them normal. And there's another group that could be described by this curve. We'll call them pedophiles. And the question becomes, at what point do we know that someone is in one group or the other? And that is the basis that kind of question is what leads us to do research and then have the evidence for making the claims that we make when we're evaluating somebody. Now, I think that you guys would agree that based on the curves that I drew, our person who has a p-Nal-tumescence score of 0.2 when viewing this material is in the normal category, okay? And if somebody had a p-Nal-tumescence of 0.9, I think it would be pretty obvious that they're in the pedophile category. But let's just say that I've drawn these curves incorrectly, and it actually looks more like this. Okay? Where when people are given the penile plethysmograph, nobody gets fully erect. But pedophiles have a mean score, let's say, of 0.3, and non-pedophiles have a mean score of 0.1. Then our subject here at 0.2 becomes harder to classify. Do you guys see that point? And this is really the basis of what we're trying to do when we run statistical analyses. Not just classify a person, but classify a group of people. Because let's just say that this 0.2, instead of representing one person, actually represents a group of people who have gone through a treatment program, who used to be pedophiles, and now our question is, did the treatment program work, yes or no? So we're comparing another group with a mean of 0.2 to these two groups, and we're asking, are they significantly different from either group? Okay, so that is going to be, this is just my introduction. I hope I've gotten you a little bit interested in analyzing individual as well as group variance to see if there's a statistically significant difference between groups. And with that, I'm going to pause, and then we're going to jump into our next topic.